Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the 8BitRacketeers podcast. Today, it's me, your host, Phil, as well as Anthony.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
And Barrett.
Hey, guys.
In today's episode, we're going to discuss mostly everything that happened at Comic-Con. We would have had this episode out sooner, but I fell asleep before our recording schedule, and it was my fault. I'll own up to it.
It happens.
It happens.
Hey, no worries.
But we're here. We're gonna do it, and we have some exciting things to talk about. But before that, let's just catch up with everybody. Me myself, just been doing my thing. I actually went to a concert not too long ago, on Thursday or Friday, something like that. I went to go see Wild Child. It's a Doors tribute band. The front man, I should have brought up his name, but I forgot to. But he's been doing it since the 80s, like 85 or 86. He looks, sounds, and moves just like Jim Morrison.
Good for him.
I said, I tell everybody, if Jim Morrison didn't die so young and he was still alive today, he will look pretty much exactly like the dude who does him. I think his name is Dave or Frank, something like that. But they're fantastic. They sound just like the Doors, and it's like a blast to the past. There's people of all ages, like older people, people of middle age, and people like my age, or in their early 20s, who go to the show, and it's so much fun. If you guys ever want to go see them, and if they're in your town, go see them. If you love the Doors, this is the closest you're gonna get to a real Doors concert. So yeah, I highly recommend them. But that's kind of what I was up to this week. You want to go into what maybe you're up to, Barrett?
For me, a whole bunch of wedding planning, actually, for me.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I got engaged, or I proposed
Right.
a few months ago.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, congrats.
So a bunch of wedding planning, booking all the vendors and stuff like that, and it looks like we're pretty much done with the hard part, at least. Yeah, that's exciting.
Good stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
What about
What about
you?
you, Anthony?
Yeah.
Nothing much. Just been working. Just been working. Work's a little busy. I guess I was telling people, the last end of summer is ending already, so people are getting their last family gatherings together, going out, hanging out, and just enjoying some quality time with each other and getting some food and just enjoying themselves before everybody goes back to school and goes back to their normal schedules. But yeah, I've mostly just been working. I think I've been following the podcast. I had mentioned about talking about the that Batman Crusade, the Batman TV show just came on Prime.
Right.
So I've been watching that. I know it's 10 episodes, and I've been trying to watch as I go throughout my schedule and just try to watch quick episodes. I'm on 5. So far, it's pretty good. That's kind of what my week's been, just working and trying to catch up on the show that I was kind of excited about. But yeah, not too much,
Nice.
not too bad. Weather's cooling down, so everybody's happy about that.
So, do you recommend the show to anybody?
You know what? It's actually pretty good. Like I said, through the first few episodes that I've seen so far, I'd recommend it. I think you'd enjoy it. There's some changes to the some of the characters, but I mean that's expected, I guess. But yeah, it's good. It's a decent show. The animation is really great. You can tell the chemistry of each actor as portraying their own character is really cool. I'm gonna like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping to finish off. Hopefully, the next few days, I can just sit down and just binge watch the rest of the show. But yeah, I'd recommend it. If you go out there and get a chance to watch it, it's on Amazon Prime. So go ahead and just sit back and enjoy. They're like 25 minutes. It's not too long. You can get a little quick while you're eating dinner, sit down, watch a movie or something, show, and then call it a day.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're all doing pretty well, and yeah, I hope everyone else listening is doing well themselves. This is like the last week of summer we were just talking about, for all those who are in school still. If you're watching this and you're not an adult, I question your parents, but
Very questionable.
We're not
Yes,
too
yes.
bad. We're not too bad, but still,
PG at times.
PG. I would say we're
At
PG
times.
13.
At times.
Yeah, we're PG 13.
Yeah, for sure.
But with that being said, I think it's time to move on to the news because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I am excited. What do you guys say?
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's get into this.
All right, so first off is DC Studios. So they came, of course, James Gunn is now the head honcho. He is the Kevin Feige of DC Studios. And he came with a few announcements, nothing too crazy. Of course, we've talked about it in the first episode. He is currently filming or wrapping up. I think they just wrapped up filming a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken. But he's working on Superman Legacy. It's the new adaptation of Superman. It's supposed to go back to the classic Christopher Reeves, happy-go-lucky Boy Scout aesthetic that we all know well of Superman across the decades. But for Comic-Con, he came with a few stuff. The first one is Creature Commando, which is a byproduct of the Suicide Squad. The catch is the whole squad is made up of people who aren't human. So if I remember exactly, it's filled with Weasel, the Bride, Frankenstein's Bride, the Frankenstein Monster, G.I. Robot, Doctor, I forgot his name. But there's a few list of characters who aren't human. They're either monsters or people who were turned into monsters or stuff around that vein. But a trailer dropped and we watched it before the show. And so yeah, what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, you want to go first, Anthony?
Yeah, I liked it. I like the it gives a little bit, but doesn't give too much. I love when the trailer doesn't give too much of it. It looks like it's something I'm definitely gonna want to sit down and just kind of watch. Hey, it does look like another one of those not typical, but more of like a misfits getting together. They don't kind of fit in. Maybe I'm thinking just based on the trailer, it's gonna be one of those. They don't get along with each other, but then have to kind of get together and accomplish something, and maybe there'll be maybe one or two characters that might go rogue, or something may happen. But I mean, just like I like the animation. The animation looks really great. And if James Gunn is going to be ahead of DC in the way he does, I have a lot of faith in what he's going to do. We're all fans of him from Marvel Guardians. That's great news to hear that the Superman is already wrapping up. That's cool. Excited to hear about that. We just talked about that not too long ago. Mm-hmm. But as far as this trailer, I'm enjoying it. I like it. I'm trying to remember too right now the name of the dog right there, the doctor you were talking about. But overall, it's great. If I just say it right there, it's really great. It looks intriguing. I do want to check it out.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's very much like you said, a ragtag group of like monsters and stuff. And me personally, I think it looks cool. It's not a part of the new. At least I don't think it is. It's not a part of the brand new DC cinematic universe that James Gunn is trying to build starting with Superman Legacy. I don't think it's part of that. But it does look fun. It looks like a good show you can kind of watch on the side just to get ready for other stuff coming up. So yeah, I'll check it out probably to see if it's good or not. Barrett, what do you think about it?
I would give it a chance. I like you guys were both saying. I would give it a chance. I'm actually kind of surprised how much I kind of like that trailer, just because how quirky and kind of funny everyone was, and like unique the characters. It reminds me so much of Suicide Squad, but kind of better I would say. Honestly, I feel like maybe if Suicide Squad had a cartoon approach, it would have looked something pretty similar to this, and maybe that would have went off better, like better received by the fans. I don't know, it's hard to say, but I would very much so watch this.
Yeah, so we'll see how it turns out. That is going to come out this December, actually. So it's not too far
soon. Wow.
around. Yeah, not too far around the corner. And yeah, it's going to be on Max, of course, if you guys couldn't figure that out by yourselves. But yeah, we'll see how it is in December. And yeah, that was Creature Commando. And so the next thing after that is... of course, it's DC Studios. They announced that like in 2018, where I think before it was called the DC Extended Universe or whatever, right?
Something
DC,
weird.
Yeah, DCEU or something like that.
Something like that.
Some nonsense.
I don't think they have a name for the universe now, but the actual studio now is just called DC Studios. It's simple, kind of like how Marvel is just Marvel Studios. But they announced a brand new logo, which... kind of emulates a classic emblem that DC used to use for their comic covers. It's the circle with like 4 stars and the DC's kind of tilted on its side. And under that it says studios. And I like it. It's cool. It brings back like an eye-catching flair to it. Like things I always say this, that things in general in life have lost a lot of their awe and wonder. And I think this logo kind of goes back. Yes, it's a retro kind of logo, but it goes back to like a simpler time, a more fun time, I would say, in like comic books and superhero stuff. So yeah, I dig the new logo. I don't know what you guys think about it.
I personally love it. I love the retro. It literally just reminds me of just any of the old DC comics I have. And I feel like a lot of us that are a little older, not too old, but we started on comics, before there were movies, like big DC movies and big Marvel movies. We started on comics first. So it's a nostalgic in a way.
Absolutely, yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. Yeah, I like the logo. It looks good. Yeah, it definitely has like that comic book little like little touch to it, where it's like, oh, you could tell like it reminds you like when you have your comic book, you see the corner of the logo of it, you're like, yeah, that's what that reminds me of.
That'd be funny if they did, like, for the start of Superman Legacy, they do the comic book flip kind of thing, like how Marvel, they still kind of do Marvel, but it changes into like the logo of the MCU, and it shows like footage from that'd be funny if they did it with the DC, but it's all like DC Comics, and then as more movies come out, they'll swap it to just like footage of the universe. That'd be kind of funny.
That would be funny.
It's a DC Studios, but yeah. I think we're all in agreement. This logo is really dope. I'm really pleased with it.
It's positive.
It's a good sign because you can tell James Gunn is going back to just making comic book films. He's not trying to make like this crazy in
really cares.
depth. He cares. He cares about the source material, and that's kind of all we're asking for.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine was a very good example of just sticking to the source material and having fun with it, and people will enjoy it and eat it up. And this is very much in that vein. I'm excited for what James Gunn is going to do for DC. But going off to something that's not really a part of James Gunn's stuff is the Penguin, which is a spin-off of Matt Reeves' The Batman. So, of course, Colin Farrell played the Batman. He disappears in the role, which is insane how well he plays the Penguin. It's probably my favorite Penguin of...
Agreed.
Compared to Danny DeVito,
most accurate, most accurate,
yeah.
That they've portrayed on the screen in the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Matt Reeves, of course, this is not going to be a part of the main timeline of the DC universe, but this is something spin-off of The Batman from 2018, 2017, something like that. But they dropped a trailer for the show that's going to be on HBO. What did you think about it, Anthony?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was really good. It was really dark and gritty, which is the tone, obviously, of Gotham. Colin Farrell, man. It's like I said, it's unrecognizable. 5 hours of just sitting in there for makeup. It's incredible. That you kind of it gets lost in it. You don't even recognize that it's him. But he's such a good actor. That's when you begin to see it's really him. No, I love it. I love the fact that he's like, he's basically, he's talking about, with his trying to help his mom out there, but he's trying to do good. And he's like basically telling like, I'm trying everything I can. He's like, I'm gonna make the best for both of us. And he basically resorts to that whole like, hey, the good blue collar, good kind of people worker minimum wage ain't gonna get far. You got to do something else to get there, and to have that kind of a mobster, and that is like he is like the mobster in the Batman and DC like universe and stuff like that. I thought it was great, and I love this. I think we could all agree. I was watching some people on YouTube, and even I was talking about it. I was like, we could all agree that he was so good in that movie, but if only we got a little bit more of him and just got a little bit more. I was hearing some like people talk on YouTube, and I had some friends that I watch, and even I was agreeing with it. I was like, we all agree that we got good enough of him, but we wanted more, and this is that payoff of saying, okay, now we're getting a whole show just dedicated to him and his life as this. I wonder if we'll get any references or any kind of like I don't think we'll get any cameos of Batman, but I think we might get a quick little reference or something like that as they do on spin-offs. That'll be some spin-off. But yeah, it's it's dark, it's gritty, it's Gotham, and that's basically what DC and Batman is all about. I love it. It was really good. I'm excited to see how it goes, and hope I get a chance to watch it as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, I like what Anthony said. The first 2 words Anthony said, dark and gritty. I think that's perfect when it comes to Gotham. And Oh, we need more of that when it comes to DC and Batman universe, and I think this is perfect direction to go into. And man, he looks so good in that makeup. It's incredible, honestly.
As
No,
good as the movie too. It's not like
yeah, it's not like they cheaped out. You can tell this
yeah.
looks like movie production right from Batman. Like, I wonder where they'll even start if it's in reference to Batman, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It looks decent. It very much goes into the dark side mafia gang type of storytelling that I think fits Gotham well, because that's a lot of Gotham in general. But I will say this trailer, it makes me even more so want just a simple Batman series. I think the two characters that would fit the most as TV shows would be Spider-Man and Batman, because they pretty much their whole thing is just day-to-day fighting crime in the streets. And then on top of that, I think Daredevil portrays that the best, right? Have you guys ever seen Daredevil? Where
Yeah.
he has so many
series.
he has so many spitting plates, and he's trying to balance his life. He's trying to balance the crime fighting and dealing with the Kingpin and Bullseye and all that stuff that happens, and then he falls in love with Elektra. So all that really plays into basically how the comics operate, because comics are serialized. They're told over a long period of time. So again, this trailer just makes me want to have a proper Batman show. Like, you can introduce Robin and have him later go on to be Nightwing during the whole show, like during season 3 or something, right? Yeah, so this looks cool. I hope it's gonna be good. This is gonna come out not too long, actually, in September 19th. So it's right around the corner.
It's real close, yeah. It's right around the corner, yeah.
Yeah. So
sorry, Phil, sorry to cut you off.
No.
On the topic of you'd want a show like this, what are your thoughts on? Would you like an old school, like back in the day kind of thing, like a 10, 15 episode like season, or would you like a two-part, like a two seasons? Like, what's your thoughts on like the length of like seasons when TV shows now? Because most of them we get like what, about 8, maybe 10
sweet
sometimes.
spot, I'd say.
yeah, I would say do something like 8 to 12 episodes.
Yeah,
My thing would be focus so much more on the writing instead of like how much you want to do. Worry about the first season. Like, figure out 2 things you need to do. At least my perspective. Figure out an overall plot of the show. Like, where do you want to get from Batman starting? Like, we're talking about Batman. So where do you want to start Batman out? And then where do you want him to end up at the end of the show? And then in the midst of that, how do you want to break it up? Like, write your whole show and then film it. So have this is gonna be season 1. This is gonna be season 2. This is gonna be season 3. But write it in terms of like, okay, we want to have 4 or 5 seasons of Batman and his whole career throughout the decades. But let's worry about making season 1 the best possible. Like, we have a general idea of where we want to go for the whole show, but the fine details we're gonna really dive into season 1, and then once if it's successful, we'll move on to season 2 and we'll tackle that demon when it shows up. But yeah, I think Batman, and I think Spider-Man specifically, could really fit well as live action TV shows. I'm not talking about like animated. We've had animated shows. Batman,
Too many animated shows.
The Batman
honestly.
animated series proves that, like, Batman works.
Right.
So yeah, but going back to the Penguin, I really hope it fits well into the universe. I hope it's good. I'm excited. I really liked, up until a certain point, I liked the Batman from 2018 or whatever. But I hope this fits well into the universe, and I hope it just makes me more excited for the next Batman movie that's coming out. I think they're still working on it, but
Yes.
we shall see. I'm excited. But that's it for DC that we have, and I think we can move on to the next topic, which is Amazon. And they came out with this surprise trailer, which I wasn't expecting, but its first show titled Like a Dragon Yakuza. And this is actually based on the original Yakuza game from 2005. It's not based off of the same game that's named Like a Dragon Yakuza. That's from... It's a recent release, like maybe no more than 8 years ago. But yeah, this is going to be directed by... I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Masaharu Take. He worked on The Naked Director and a few other stuff. He's really I guess he's really beloved in Japan, apparently, from what I researched.
Okay.
But the whole thing is being made and filmed and directed in Japan, so it's pretty close to the source.
I like that.
And it's
That's gonna
filmed.
be cool.
It's starring Ryoma Takeuchi, I think. He's gonna play Kazuma Kiryu. I just butchered all of those names, but
It's okay.
I remember
can't
we were
tell.
like I said, we're filming this on what day is it today? Monday.
The Monday.
We were supposed to film this on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was dead tired and I was a little sick. I'm still a little sick now, but I had all the names like practice and stuff, and then all that happened, and I just forgot all of it. So I
That's
apologize.
fine.
But going to this trailer, this kind of came out of nowhere, and yeah, it seems pretty cool. I've never actually played any of the Yakuza games. I've always heard great things about them for the most part. But this trailer looks pretty cool. It's based off the real life mob, the Yakuza, and yeah, it seems pretty good. From what I saw in the trailer, it seems the director, from what I was reading, the director really wants to make it close to the original game, which is always a good thing. We always talk about keeping things close to the source material, and yeah, it very much seems like it's close to it. What do you think about it, Barrett?
I would be curious. I've only ever watched the Yakuza video games from if you guys know like walkthroughs or let's plays,
right.
if you guys have ever
Right.
done those or
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
those on YouTube. So I've never actually like played the game, but maybe it would be intrigue me when I see more than just a teaser, But I did not expect this, but I've only heard good things from the Yakuza game, so I would be intrigued to look more into it, honestly. Do we have a date at all?
This is coming out in October of 2024. I think everything for the most part.
Okay, dude, this out this year. Wow.
October 24th. It is coming to Prime.
Yes.
Okay.
I think everything this, aside from the Marvel stuff we're going to talk about later,
Right.
everything comes out this year, over the course of either this year or early next year. So keep that in mind as we talk about things. We'll talk about the dates and stuff, but yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not I haven't played the game. I've as you present the trailer before we watched it before the start. I like the trailer. It does bring that like a feel of like a like a thing like for a mob, stuff like that. It looks like he's like a big fighter. Like I said, I never played the game, but just off the trailer, it looks really good. I like the introduction of it, showing the I guess the tattoo being made, and then the way it shows how he's like getting how the tattoo's in place in his back. Like it looks so gruesome, but it's the finished work that shows like his back with the whole tattoo. It looks crazy. It looks cool though. I like the like it's gonna be like a darker tone as well. Maybe the game was like that. I have no idea. I never played it out. Maybe after this I'll have to actually go take a little clips of the game or see what it's about. But I like it. I look intrigued with it. It's interesting.
It's kind of brutal. Just fair warning to anyone who watches
Very
the
much
game.
so, yeah.
Yeah, just a heads up.
But it's fitting though, because the Yakuza are pretty nasty. They're really dirty.
Oh, they're ruthless.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry, yeah.
So
Speaking of mods with Penguin, I mean, yeah, right up that same alley.
yeah, you can watch this and watch the Penguin back to back and have a
Literally.
real swell time, But yeah, I think we're all pretty much interested. It's like we said, it's coming out in October on the 24th. So yeah, we'll see how it is. Hopefully it's good, and Amazon doesn't really have that much going on for it, but hopefully this will kind of push it. Were you gonna say something, Barrett?
No, I was gonna say Amazon the only other thing they have going, like at Comic-Con, was the new Rings of Power.
Yes, that is not on my list of topics, but if you want to talk about that, we can.
Oh, I don't know. I'm skeptical on it. I don't know if you guys have watched the first season. Have either of you guys?
It was cool. I know it got a lot of hate. I watched it. It wasn't too bad. I mean, if you I watched Lord of the Rings. I watched them all, but as far as the show, yeah, those that are like really like into the lore and it's like, oh, how did this breaks this. I went in just being like, hey, it looked cool. And the budget was ridiculous. I forgot off the top of my head what the budget was. It looked amazing. If anything, I know the people said the story was kind of whack, but the budget looked great. The scenery looked amazing. But it was cool. I liked it. I mean, it wasn't like something I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't really watched it since it came out. Like I watched it when it was on, but I haven't watched it since. Maybe kind of a little quick little binge of it before the new season starts. I'm not super pumped for the second season. But I mean, it's on Prime, so if I get a chance, I'll probably watch it. I think the first season, every episode was like an hour long, so if you have an hour to just kind of sit back and relax, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and on top of that, Anthony, you were right. It is the most expensive TV show ever made, to date.
Yeah, it's
and
wild.
It comes out. I want to say it comes out in 2 weeks from this recording. So whoever's watching this, I want to say that's the earliest show that comes out. Right from like the list of things we're going over.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
But Philip, any thoughts on that really quick?
So I haven't watched anything of the Lord of the Rings TV shows. I've just heard a lot of stuff because I'm a big lore person. Not that I'm super huge into Lord of the Rings, but I'm pretty much a defender of keeping things pretty much to the original source material, right? But yeah, I haven't heard too much great things about Rings of Power and stuff, and the stuff I've heard from it doesn't sound great. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer, but I don't think it's something that's going to be for me. It's good that they're putting a lot of money into it and stuff. For me, it's all writing. If you can't write a good show and stick to what made it great, to me, there's not really a point of watching it. But
Yep.
I don't know. It's a missed opportunity when you do a show that's based off of Lord of the Rings, because you could do so much with it. The Lord of the Rings books are so dense with information that Peter Jackson could only do so much in the short. I mean, gosh, the extended versions are like 4 hours long each. Like when I first watched them, they took. That phone was going crazy.
Sorry,
you're fine. I'm interrupting you.
I know. It was like arguing. So it was like arguing with me when I was trying to. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't like the Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry. Or Rings of Power. Your phone like went off on me. I'm sorry.
That's the comment section.
I know it's the comment.
Right
yeah, they're coming in early. Yeah. But yeah, it's a missed opportunity to not, because they're, like I said, the extended versions of Peter Jackson's movies, the full length of them are like 3 to 4 hours long each. When I first watched them, prior to me actually seeing Lord of the Rings, I hadn't chosen to watch them the extended editions because I've heard that's the proper way to do it. So I watched them, and it took me literally a whole week to get through everything because I had work and school and stuff at the time. So balancing that between my obligations, it took me a whole week to get through the whole trilogy. It was 100% worth it. But yeah, there's even in the movies how dense they are, there's still so much you can go into with a TV show. You can even start from the beginning of Middle Earth and keep going into the Lord of the Rings. So again, there's so much stuff you can do, and I just feel like, from at least what I've heard from people I really respect and trust, they don't really do that with Rings of Power.
Yeah, you heard right, Philip.
So, I know you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, Barrett. So I can trust you on that too. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, someone does take it over and can fix it. But yeah, that was kind of my thoughts on the whole thing.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that's it for that, right? Was that Amazon too, right? Yeah.
Correct.
That was Amazon. Yeah, that was Amazon too. Yeah.
Cool. So the next thing we have is from Peacock, which is a small little series by the iconic director James Wan, who is of course the director of Aquaman. He's the director of the Conjuring films and Saw as well, the original Saw. And he's working on this new show called Teacup. And he's going to be the producer, kind of. I don't know if he's going to be the official showrunner, but he's going to be like the executive producer of the thing. And the writer of the show is actually going to be Ian McCulloch from Yellowstone. I've heard a lot of good things about Yellowstone. I haven't watched it myself, but I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that. But here's a short synopsis of the show. And it says the series is inspired by Robert McCammon's 1988 novel Stinger. This series will follow a desperate group of people on a ranch who must come together in the face of a mysterious threat. And the show comes out October 10th of this year. So a little bit before Yakuza. I'm excited for this. It seems pretty cool. I'm a big fan of James Wan. I don't think, aside from Aquaman and the Aquaman movies he's done, I don't think he's done much that I don't like, at least from the stuff I've seen. Yeah, and it's going to be produced with Blumhouse too, which they do pretty cool stuff as well. But from what I gathered from the trailer, in the trailer there's like a little teacup that spins and it shows like animals that are dead coming back to life. It kind of sounds like Army of Darkness is a part of the trilogy, but it's the Evil Dead trilogy where things are happening around the house and things are coming to life and there's a bunch of evil spirits and demons and stuff. Yeah, so that's the kind of vibe I got from the trailer. I don't know too much about the novel Stinger, but yeah, I'm interested in this. This seems pretty cool. It's gonna be on Peacock, like I said. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a look. It seems pretty interesting. But yeah, what do you think about it, Barrett?
I agree with you regarding the whole James one. I first saw, I want to say it was Saw. It was my first James Bond movie.
Yeah.
And kind of never looked back, honestly. I will watch anything by him. He's been a little shaky in the most recent years.
Sure,
especially with the Aquaman, like you had mentioned.
The first one was okay. I know a lot of people don't like
fine.
it, but it was, yeah.
But like, yeah, the second one, so stuff like that, not too big of a fan of. But anything horror with James Wan, and then on top of it, Blumhouse. So that kind of is reassurance to me. I don't know about you guys, but anything Blumhouse typically is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, usually Blumhouse comes out with pretty good stuff. I know a lot of people liked Megan. That came out, I think, like, oh no, it came out 2022.
The girl.
Yeah, it's like the Chucky.
Megan. Yeah, that was
yeah.
I think like a good trip.
Yeah, so I mean they're hit or miss for the most part. But when they put out good stuff, it's pretty damn good. But yeah, Anthony, what do you think about this?
The trailer was okay. I think it's a very interesting way to tease the concept of whatever this show is. I'm not too familiar with what his name, James Wan. I'm not too much of a horror like films. That's like the main thing I look forward to watching. Like if it's on or a friend's on, or maybe go check it out or something, I'll go with them or something like that. Or if it's on TV and they're watching it already, I'll sit there. But it's not something like my go-to. So if this actually is kind of mostly more, or I mean even Aquaman, Aquaman, yeah, I didn't see the first. I heard it was good. I know a few people said they saw and they liked it. I didn't get a chance to watch it. There's a lot of DC movies I really didn't watch, but. Yeah, but as far as the concept of this specific project, it looks interesting. Just the way you said, as the teacup spinning, it just shows either the life of what it is and decay and then becoming reforming. It looks very interesting. Like I said, it's a very good it's a very interesting take on how to present this show coming up and see what it's about.
Should I look up the synopsis for the book?
If you can, really quick.
Yeah, let me see if
because none of us seem to have any idea what this could be like leading towards. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I only had because it's a teaser. It doesn't reveal much about it. I don't even know. If we have a cast yet.
Oh, so we're really early into like production.
Oh, it's yeah.
Yeah, I mean they might. I didn't see anything about that, but yeah. But from here on Goodreads, it says McCammon's novel takes place during a single 24-hour period in Inferno, Texas. Inferno is a town in trouble, driven to the brink by racial tension, gang violence, and a collapsing economy. But things can always get worse, and they do so with astonishing speed when an unidentified spacecraft crash lands in the desert outside of town, followed by a second craft bearing the alien being who will soon be known as Stinger. Okay. So it's kind of like a science fiction thing, which I wasn't expecting.
Sounds like Cloverfield a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you guys ever watched that, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I haven't, no.
That's a good one, Philip. You got to put down the list.
Okay, yeah. Okay, but cool. Yeah, I'm a fan of James Wan. I don't like all his stuff, like I said, but yeah, we'll see how this is. Hopefully, out of everything aside from the Marvel stuff we've talked about, I think this is the one sleeper kind of hit thing that I'm kind of looking forward to the most because I'm a big James Wan fan. But yeah, that's kind of it. We'll see how that is. But going on to the next topic is, of course, a little game we're all have a little soft spot for in our hearts. It's Mortal Kombat. They just announced a DLC for their latest game, Mortal Kombat 1, which is a perfect name and makes total sense, right? But they announced a DLC pack for, I think it's the second one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because the first one was Omni-Man and what's the other guy's name from The Boys? Homelander.
Right?
Yeah, Homelander. So yeah, that was kind of the first pack. But for this one, they announced a few people who I did not expect at all, but they're cool additions. So we have Ghostface from the Scream movies, Robert Patrick's T-1000 from Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian from the movie Conan the Barbarian, Noob Saibot. I put on my notes, it says Noon Saibot. I don't know why I put that, but it's Noob Saibot. And then, of course, we have two final, like, kind of weird choices, I guess. But they're female Sector and Cyrax. I don't know if there's ever been a female Sector and Cyrax, but I guess...
I don't believe so.
I guess they're...
No, I
Yeah, I guess they're doing it now. I don't know if it's supposed to be, like, the daughters of the two, or if they're, like, gender swapped or something. I don't know. But, yeah, that's the new roster, or the new additions we're getting to the game. Mortal Kombat has a track record of bringing like film characters who are more like gruesome themed to the game. In the past, we've had like the Predator, the Xenomorph, Jason, Leatherface, and Freddy Krueger, so stuff like that. But yeah, the first phase, Cyrax, Noob, Saibot, and Sector will be available when the DLC launches in September. And then the rest of them, the Ghostface, T-1000, and Conan, are going to be added later on at a different date. So yeah, what do you guys... I don't know if you guys play Mortal Kombat still. I haven't played in a while, but I don't know if you guys have. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, you want to go, Anthony?
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, it's been a while since I played any like the Mortal Kombat recent games. I mean, I just haven't had a chance to like sit down and like play any games in general aside from just a few weeks ago. But Mortal Kombat, I mean, yeah, it's just like your opening statement. You know, it's very dear art. We all grew up on it. I mean, I grew up playing Mortal Kombat 3 on Super Nintendo and just constantly playing that game. Like getting home from school and going in there and just putting it in, and just playing that for a couple hours. So that was probably like my favorite one, just because of the bias and nostalgia of me playing that game so much. I played a couple of the other ones that they got on, like the PlayStation. It was on PlayStation, I believe. I forgot exactly which one it was. Is it Armageddon or something like that? Where I believe that's one of the games called. Sorry if correct me if I'm wrong in the chat or even right here, guys. If you guys remember, but yeah, I mean, Mortal Kombat games always they always bring it, man. They always have such a crazy, like some crazy in-depth details and stuff that happens. The new characters that evolved in does look pretty interesting. I like the T-1000 incident and then Ghostface. I'm thinking too, maybe just the fact of the new two characters being just gender swapped. I think it's probably maybe that's exactly what it is. I mean, just kind of push a little whatever they're trying to push nowadays, and I think that's probably what it could be. I mean, I'm sure it could be a little storyline of them being from the originals, and then just being like just like off like breed like their daughter or whatever you want to say, whatever. But yeah, it could be that. But just by the graphics, we watched all these trailers as we mentioned before this, and I remember watching it right before we started. It looks good. The Mortal Kombat always has such amazing graphics and so many different like fatalities and so much stuff that goes into it. It does look like I want to play it. Depending on what system it's on, and if a friend of mine has it or something, I can just probably go swing by and play a few rounds with him or see how it is. But I like it. See how it goes.
Yeah, I like what you said, Anthony. As far as I think they might just be pushing the whole woke kind of diversity out of nowhere, And that's kind of a common reoccurrence with games. I mean, we don't have to get into that, but I'll just say that we see that more common nowadays. But no.
It's been a trend, like I said, we don't have to get too much into it. It's been a trend for a while. We're just kind of in the thick of it.
Yeah.
A lot of things are starting to slow down for that kind of stuff, but yeah, it does suck. 'Cause I do like I think the yellow one is Cyrax, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, the yellow one is.
Yeah. I used to play Cyrax a lot when I was a little, and he's really cool as a character. So it's a little disappointing that they did that to him. But yeah, it's whatever. The first three, Ghostface, T-1000, and Conan, are really cool additions. So yeah, we'll see how they play. I know not every character they've added is always great in terms of their play style and how they play in terms of the meta. But yeah, well, hopefully they do well. I didn't think because they've done a lot of guest characters. I was kind of thinking what else could they do, because they're running out of them if you really think about it, that kind of fit Mortal Kombat. So I don't know if you guys have any ideas for characters, but one of the ones I had was Ash from Evil Dead. I think he'd fit really well. You give him a chainsaw for a hand and give him a shotgun too. I think he'd fit really well.
I would say it's only a matter of time. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's only a matter of time before Mortal Kombat does actual just celebrities into their games, kind of like how Call of Duty has started. If you guys have seen,
who would they do as a celebrity though?
You would be surprised. It would be wrestlers or just funny.
Oh, if they did The Undertaker for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Call of Duty made a operator some guy you can play as that's Snoop Dogg, but he has a variant of his skin that's an actual dog. It's pretty funny.
Wow.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
They throw in 50 Cent in the game. He's got a gun and a bulletproof vest on,
and then might as well throw Eminem in there.
Eminem, Slim Shady. You can play as either Eminem or Slim Shady.
Eminem or Slim. Yeah, Mortal Kombat. We can agree though, right? Mortal Kombat does some really good DLC characters.
They do.
Right?
They really do. They do have both for Mortal Kombat and for Injustice. Both games do pretty well. Injustice 2 had Hellboy and the Ninja Turtles, and yeah, so they do pretty well. But that being said, let's move on to the next topic, and that is Hasbro, which they didn't announce anything too major, but these are just little cool factoids or announcements I wanted to bring up. So they announced about 4 figures. Well, they announced the Transformers one too, but it's kind of a generic one. I don't really care about that one. But the 4 major ones that I wanted to talk about was a G.I. Joe Classified series figure for Edward Starduster Skyler. I don't know who that is, but if you're a G.I. Joe fan, and if you're a completionist or something, there you go. You're getting a Starduster figure.
Heck yeah.
I mean, good for them. I don't know. I'm not a big G.I. Joe fan.
I'm sure they've waited years.
They're jumping for joy right now, I guess.
Right now, man. Comment section's going live, and we don't even know what's going on.
Right. And then they announced a Star Wars Black Series figure. Alex is kind of jumping for joy for this right now. But it's a battle droid riding a ST-8P, a STAP, whatever.
Yep.
STAP. It's little vertical vehicle. It's kind of like a I don't even know how to describe it, but it's
in episode 1.
It's in episode 1. It's the thing they stand on and they kind of zoom through the jungle with. So it's the battle droid figure with that little vehicle too. Pretty cool thing. I would have figured we got that by now, but I don't know. Maybe it's a re-release or a redesign of the original one. I got no clue. But it's a cool little thing. It's a cool little thing. I'm disrespecting all the toy collectors right now, aren't I?
Definitely.
I'm sorry. I did this for you. I did this for you, okay? And the last 2 are Marvel Legends. One of them is for Kang the Conqueror. Because, hey, guys, we're getting more Kang the Conqueror, right? Right? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
So we're getting a figure of him. It's the comic book version of him. It's not the MCU one that we'll for sure have more of coming in the future, right? So it's that one, and then we're also getting a Sentinel, just a basic Sentinel from, I think it's the comic version. It could be from the animated series, but I'm pretty sure it's the comic version. But these are pretty cool. Marvel Legends does pretty good with their stuff. They have a large roster of figures. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into like the amount of characters they've made into Marvel Legends figures, but they got pretty much everybody. They're like pop figures of like Marvel. They do a lot of stuff. So yeah, they all seem pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna pick up any of these figures, but yeah, I wanted to announce them and just bring them up just in case if anybody out there wants, if they're collectors and they want to get news and stuff about this and they didn't hear about it. I wanted to bring it up. I don't know if you guys have anything to talk about with these things, but
yeah, Anthony, did you ever collect these or anything?
No, I didn't ever collect those. Not too much of a collector. Like as far as these things, like most people probably didn't really become like more so like Marvel fans until it got really bigger in 2008. But I'm sure there's people out there that are collecting. And me, I was mostly of what I collect. I collect a lot of Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon. Growing up, that was my collection stuff I did, but not as far as anything like Star Wars or even Marvel, how they're doing stuff like here. But it does look interesting. I respect those people that that dedicate themselves into getting their stuff like that, and so it's pretty cool. Yeah, I wasn't too much of a collector in those items.
Yeah, I can say the same as Anthony. I wasn't huge into like toy collecting, like figure collecting. I feel so bad for calling it toy. I feel like they're gonna hate me for that too. Sorry, figures.
Everybody, all the toy collectors are just unsubscribing right now, and
yeah.
Oh my goodness,
they're so particular. Though, if you've ever met them.
Sorry, yeah.
But no hard feelings.
You guys, you guys don't have.
News.
You guys don't have any figures you've collected or bought over the years or anything?
Nothing that I've kept. No, I don't know about you.
Yeah,
the only thing I have is the one I got from you, Philip. You and Asale got me for Christmas.
Yeah, we did.
The Dragon Ball. That's pretty much the only thing I have. Like I don't remember. Off the top of my head, I don't remember having like a lot of stuff as a kid, or even like into my early teenage years of doing stuff like that. I just wasn't too much into that. I think my teenage years was mostly playing video games and playing outside. That's pretty much all I did.
Yeah. Growing up, I had a few action figures, like Transformers and like a Batman and a Spider-Man or stuff like that. Like as of late, I still have a Optimus Prime my friend gave me. I still have that.
Nice.
One thing I did buy like 2 years ago maybe was the NECA or NECA, I think it's called NECA Brooklyn from Gargoyles. It's the red gargoyle one. I think I've posted a photo of it in the group chat before. But I have him. He's a fantastic figure. All the gargoyles from that series are great. But yeah, I'm not against getting figures, but I'm very picky on like what I want to get. I haven't bought one in a while, but they did one for No Way Home's Willem Dafoe Green Goblin, and it's
like
him on
Nomad Rogue one.
Yeah, and that figure is incredible. I want that one.
Sweet.
So yeah, there's cool stuff out there. I'm not particularly into any of the Marvel Legends stuff or the Star Wars Black Series or anything like that. I don't really delve too much. There's people who do, but I don't really delve that much into it. I'll buy like figures I really care about and really like, but I'm not the biggest collector of that stuff. But like I said, if anybody out there wants to hear about it or they care about that, I did it for that, so you guys can be in the know about it. But yeah, that was it for Hasbro, and yeah, hopefully they keep continuing to kill the game. But that being said, we are on to the final topic, the kind of the biggest thing of Marvel comic, I already said it. The biggest thing of Comic-Con that most people care about, and that's the Marvel Studios Hall H panel. One thing I do want to bring up before we get into this. A lot of people, I've never been to Comic-Con, but a lot of people complain that Hall H is too small, the convention center is too small. You have to literally spend the whole day in line just to get into the Marvel Hall H panel. I don't know why they don't just move the panel to Petco Park. Like, how cool would that be to have the Marvel announcements happen at Petco Park?
Well, Petco Park, that's a cool venue.
That'd be pretty awesome.
It's right there, too.
It is right there. It's right across the street. It's walking distance. So, at least from what I've heard, it's not really the convention that's causing that. It's more so of Comic-Con, the company, that they're not really changing their style of how they do it, their method, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. I think it's a great idea to do that. But moving on to...
that's a cool idea. Good stuff on that one. Good point out.
Yeah, I mean, you could fit more people in there. It's a bigger venue, and it just... I don't know if... Like, I went to a concert there. I don't know if I talked about it before, but I went to a concert there this year, and it's a huge... I mean, it's a baseball stadium, so of course it's going to be large. But if you put a stage in the middle of the baseball field of the diamond, and then you put everybody in the seats, it's an incredible experience to witness like this whole stadium watching this one thing together. And for the most part, I think you can keep most stuff. Have people lock their phones into like bags or stuff when they enter, and you solve that problem if you really want to keep it secret. It's just to fix that problem of there's no room, everything's congested. Because I don't know if we talked about it before. We might have. They want to move. So. They want to move Comic-Con out of San Diego, and I think.
Oh no, we did.
Last episode we talked about that.
Right, next year is the last year I think they're gonna do it.
So that'd be a good pitch to keep it there.
If they keep it there, they should move it to Petco. They should move everything to Petco Park. I think, not the whole convention, but all the announcements stuff. Every time they have a big like panel, they're gonna do like move it.
Yeah, imagine seeing it on that big screen, bro. Like, dude, those are so big. Like, that'd be awesome to see that, bro.
Were you gonna say something, Barrett?
Petco Park can fit 47,741 fans. If you were curious.
And you don't even need that much. You can put 20,000 people, 10,000 people, and it would still work.
Yep.
So yeah, that's an idea I had. But that being said, going on to what Marvel announced, they didn't really announce much. The few things they did announce that was new are pretty big, I would say. But we'll slowly crawl through everything. When Kevin Feige first showed up on stage, he kind of lied. We figured out later he was lying, but he talked about how during that panel he was only going to talk about 4 films that they know are for sure in production. So the first one is Captain America: Brave New World, which was originally titled New World Order, right? I believe so.
Yes.
Yep.
So that features... There's already been trailers for it, but at Comic-Con they announced that the leader is going to be played by Tim Blake Nelson. I think he's the original actor from the first movie of Hulk. I could be
the Incredible Hulk in 2008. Yeah, he was the...
that's the original?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the scientist that helps Blonsky, yeah.
So yeah, he's going to be in the movie. We're getting Sidewinder, played by Giancarlo Esposito, who was in the Mando show.
Everything.
He's in everything Disney at this point.
Yeah.
But he's going to be playing Sidewinder, who is the king or the leader of the Serpent Society. And then, of course, we're getting Red Hulk, played by Harrison Ford, who is replacing William Hurt, who's unfortunately passed away not too long ago. So yeah, we've already seen a few public trailers. I'll be honest, I'm not too excited for this. It seems kind of not too special. But I want to hear what you guys think about it. What do you guys think about this new Captain America thing that they're going to push with Falcon and this new movie, basically?
You want to go, Anthony?
Yeah, I'll take it. I actually like it, bro. I like the direction of this. I'm actually looking forward to this movie. I like the trailer. I was actually one of the few people that probably saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus series.
Oh, I saw it too. I saw it too.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. That's a pretty good series. Bear, did you get a chance to see that or ever sit down and watch it?
I did not. No.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It does introduce a character. if it's part of the homework you want to say, the new Falcon is going to be he's in that series. As far as this movie though, I do like it. I do like the just based on the trailer. The action looks pretty cool. I'm excited mostly too for the Red Hulk. It's really cool to see Harrison Ford playing a president once again, and now actually becoming the Hulk. It's just what they're thinking about how he becomes it. Like, what is he like? What does it happen because of whatever he's going through? Maybe he has to take it, that serum, to become it or something like that. However, it's gonna be. But as far as the trailer, I liked it. It feels like it gives a good amount of excitement to it. John Carlo
Sidewinder,
as the leader of the Surface Society, Sidewinder. And it's interesting. Actually, I just noticed this. I'd watched that talk about the Comic Con. I guess they initially like did a fake title when they first initiated. Was it Captain America? One of the Captain America movies.
Civil War. Yeah, there was no title.
So it was supposed to be Surface Society or something like that. So that was their little tease that they did, or their little fake out, and then now it's become the character. But no, I do like it. It's also bringing back another character, like I said, Tim Blake from the 2008 Incredible Hulk. It's been a while. I rewatched it recently. Not recently. I want to say within a year or so, a year and a half or so. I think I rewatched it. It's still pretty good. Just have to, I know I'm rambling here, but as far as the trailer here, it does give a little excitement. I wonder how it's going to go. And I know they do say for sure that Stan Wilson does not take the secret the soldier serum, so he is just basically himself with his gear. So it's going to be like, okay, how do you freaking like? How do you stand up against a Hulk? Like, if you're just a human, basically.
That is a good. I don't know. That is a good point. That
was he's not. I thought about. I was like, okay.
He's not taking the super soldier serum, so he's just going to be the normal Falcon. That's one thing they're going to introduce in the movie, and then also adamantium as well, which is we've officially have had Wolverine in the MCU now. It's not the Marvel's Wolverine, but we've had Wolverine in the MCU. But I guess officially now they're going to introduce adamantium to the movie. So yeah,
via the Celestial from the Eternals. Yeah, they're finally talking about that. Like 3 years later, they're finally bringing out. Oh, we forgot about that little thing. We better write this in the
Eternals.
We forgot about this. Yeah, the Eternals and everything that storyline from happened like 3 years ago. We better try to tie this into somehow. But I feel like Marvel's doing a lot of that right now, just trying to be like, oh, there's stuff we didn't talk about years ago. Let's tie it in now. But there's times I'm like, I'm excited for the MCU stuff, dude. But I'm like, man, I don't want to be teased by something this year and have to wait till 2027, 28 to be, oh, there's the end. Like, I hope at some point they do kind of get back into a quicker little, not like projects, but like whatever project they do release do kind of get quicker answers and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to be waiting for like another like 2-3 years to find out something they tease this year or like in this movie specifically. Like, okay, I don't want to, like, it's just because it becomes a waiting game where you're just like, okay, that's what's kind of losing people as far as fans. But yeah, this movie does look interesting. I do like it. I do like the idea of it, and great casting. I think the cast is really going to really bring it in. I mean, Harrison Ford, I mean, come on, he's an absolute legend. And then so it's going to be really cool to see him and see how this all works out. Barrett?
Yeah. No, Anthony, what is up with Marvel teasing things 3 years in advance? And then just being like, oh, that's right, we should probably revisit that at some point, huh?
It's terrible, man. I'm like, dude.
I don't think they planned it out that far in advance. I think they just did it.
Think so?
No.
But then what is up with this, like, these Hall H, like we're talking about right now? What is up with Marvel being like, oh, here's blah, 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 blah. This will be in 3-4 years. Like, why even mention it?
Well, we'll talk about it once we get through the whole Marvel announcements. I've heard stuff, and there's apparently there's now a plan. As opposed to before, they were doing.
You have a plan.
As opposed to before, they were just kind of doing like the woke stuff and checking marks and.
Right.
Now
they were just trying to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. That's honestly what it was. Phase 5 is exactly what that was. Or Phase 4, was that whatever the phase that was. Well, phase 4, right? Whatever, we're in 5 or 6. I think we're in 5. I don't know exactly. I don't know, but that from Ant-Man post Endgame till now.
Yes.
They just threw stuff out there. Was like, hey, hopefully fans will forget about this. We'll bring it. I think that's what it is. They probably did it and forgot, and just hope fans probably forgot about it. And I'm just like, it's like, yeah.
Well, they're adapting a lot of stuff they're doing or they did in Phase 4 was they were adapting a lot of modern stuff, and they don't really adapt. I forgot. I think it was Script Doctor who said this. They're not. Their plans are not, or at least before, their plans are not to adapt anything previously to 1985. I think, which
okay.
Marvel, their best stuff is before like the 90s. I mean, there's a few good stuff in like the early 2000s too. But I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it later. But there's a plan that I guess they have now, whereas before they were just trying to adapt some of the modern stuff and be more woke and inclusive and all that jargon that you hear of modern day stuff. But yeah, Bear, what do you think about? I don't think you talked about it yet. What do you think about Captain America?
I'm kind of so on Captain America.
Sure.
I'm curious what direction, like what this leads into, like for like a post credits kind of scene, what this could mean for the next like Marvel movie or two. But I would go into it with a open mindset, but it's not something I would watch in the movies. I think I would wait till streaming.
Yeah, no, give it a couple months. It'll be streaming.
Is that bad to say nowadays? I feel like it's not that bad.
It's not bad on you. It's bad on Marvel. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just wait.
That a Marvel movie is been reduced to. I'm just gonna catch it on streaming. It's a Captain America film. You know.
I know.
Listen,
Dude,
okay.
Captain America at one point was one of the biggest movies they had. Now it's just like, yeah, I'll see when it streams.
Okay, I'll say this. This is something I was gonna bring up anyways. I like the Falcon. I won't say I like the Falcon. I like the Falcon, and Anthony Mackie plays the Falcon really well. He's great in the role. He seems like a cool dude as well. But the thing is, he's not Captain America, and for people to make him Captain America or Marvel to make him that, it's a hand-me-down. Like, you can still have him be called Captain Falcon, but give him the red and white suit with the red wings that you see in like the comic books and in the various Marvel shows he's been in. Do that and still call him Captain Falcon, and let him be the leader of the Avengers, but don't let him be Captain America. That's such a downgrade that he can't be the leader without being Captain America, because the Falcon is not worthy enough to be that. He has to be some other character to be the leader. Like, that's such a downgrade for the Falcon, at least in my opinion. Like, how much cooler would it be to, hey, we have a brand new generation of superheroes that are taking the films. You have the Falcon, you have whoever they wanted to use. But yeah, I think there was so much potential with just Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, and you could have done a trilogy of the Falcon movies, and they would have been pretty damn good. I think
they should have ran with it while they had the chance.
Yeah, but they went this whole Captain America Falcon thing, and it's not my cup of tea.
It's messy.
It's a brain dead move in my opinion. But yeah, well, I mean, hopefully it does surprise us. Yeah, hopefully it does.
Let's talk about something positive now, Marvel. Please.
We still got a few more things to get through. We still got some other stuff to get through.
The next honest of people.
This is coming out, by the way, February 14th. Yeah, 14th
next
of
year, right?
next year.
Day of love, man. Let's go take.
Yeah, go take your girlfriend and go see Captain America: Brave New World.
Absolutely.
So the next thing after that is Thunderbolts, and the movie is titled Thunderbolts, and then it has a little asterisk next to it. That's officially a part of the logo or the name of the movie. Why that's there, I don't know. Nobody knows really. There might be speculation. I haven't really looked into it. I don't know if you have anything on that, Anthony, that might explain that.
As far as that, actually, I don't know. I initially thought it was like, was it another one of Marvel's, like, where we might change the name again, or we might do this or that again. As far as I know they did give an answer, and I honestly just forgot. They did give like a little thing of whatever. It's supposed to be the team up, but I guess it's supposed to, I don't know, something about the team. That's all I know. That's probably what the asterisk is for. But yeah, my initial thought when I first heard it, I was like, they're probably doing another like change in the name, because that's what Marvel does nowadays, where change the name and like 3 or 4 months later they change it again. It's just like, okay. That's what my thought was. As far as anything else, I have nothing on that.
So they should have done like Thunderbolts ? So it's like the Thunderbolts, I guess.
Thunderbolts?
You know?
Maybe.
So the team it comprises of Winter Soldier or the White Wolf. I don't know what they're gonna call him in the movie, but it's Bucky Barnes. Apparently he's gonna be a congressman in the film, which is interesting. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. So they have him. They have Ghost, who is the villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp. They have Yolanda.
Oh yeah,
She's the next Black Widow. She's Natasha's sister.
That's sister, right?
Yeah, she was in Black Widow. They also have Red Guardian, who's played by the guy who plays Hopper in Stranger Things. I forgot his name.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good actor. So it's him, and I think Taskmaster, who's not really Taskmaster. It's a chick. So there's that.
Yeah, in the Black Widow movie, it was a female under the mask.
Yeah,
so
like
let's see what they do here.
Like a 6 foot.
Same actor, or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the team. I'm not excited for this at all. I think this is gonna bomb. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like gonna say it's like. I think it's one of those things now where it's like, yeah, I might go watch it. It's not somewhere I'm sitting there lining up ready to go for it. I know we don't line up for theaters movies no more, but I'm just saying, like, it's not somewhere I'm like, oh heck yeah, I want to see this. It does look interesting. I mean, I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. But yeah, it's.
So what you're saying is you're gonna catch this on streaming.
I'm gonna catch it on streaming, bro.
Catch this on streaming too.
That is a streaming movie I'm gonna be watching whenever it finally comes out.
There should be a sound bit for that, Philip.
Yeah, we should get one. Yeah,
catch this on stream.
we have a few sound bits that I have added before.
What's shaking, baby?
Like that. But we can add. I can add some more later. But yeah,
that's the next Marvel.
That's Thunderbolts.
Question mark?
Question mark?
Thunderbolts.
Something like that. That's coming out in May of 2025, so it's like right after Captain America 4. So we'll see. But after that, it's something I think it's a little more interesting. I'm not 100% sold on this, but it's the Fantastic Four. This is good. This is different. It's actually called Fantastic Four First Steps. That's the full title of the movie. And it takes place in the 60s of an alternate Earth, if that makes sense. So it's like a retro, futuristic, 60s inspired thing of a different Earth, featuring Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm. I actually had the guys watch the actual footage that they played at Comic-Con. I was there, I filmed that. That's totally not illegal. I didn't find that on the internet somewhere and steal it. It was totally legit, guys. Kevin Feige sent me the footage, and I'm just connected like that,
We have the ins and outs.
We have the ins and outs. We totally didn't pirate anything. But I had the guys watch that, and yeah, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. So apparently the movie, it's going to be, the cast is Ralph Ineson as Galactus, Julia Garner as Shala Ball, aka the Silver Surfer. So it's going to be a female Silver Surfer.
Oh my goodness!
There seems to be a trend here.
Oh my gosh! I'm just joking, guys. I'm just going with how people have been acting with it. Oh, a woman.
I'm not a fan of it, but
yeah.
And then we have Ebon, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Ebon Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm, The Thing, Joseph Quinn, who plays Eddie Munson in Stranger Things as Johnny Storm.
I love that.
The Human Torch, which I don't know if I'm 100% sold on that, but we'll see. Hopefully the trailer.
He could be really funny.
He could be good. And then we have Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, which she's in. I think she's in another thing, but I've seen her in Napoleon, and she's fantastic in Napoleon, and she's gorgeous too. But that's that's a great choice for Sue Storm, and I'm excited for that. And then Pedro Pascal, of course, as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, which I'm not a fan of this casting, but it's an interesting choice. But yeah, we all watched the footage The footage is actually not footage of the actual movie. It's kind of like test concept footage of what the idea of the look they want the movie for. But none of that's in the footage. It's actually going to be in the movie. Just a heads up.
I did not know that.
So, what do you guys think of this? This whole, and it's going to be directed by Matt Shackman. He directed WandaVision. If you guys didn't know,
Okay.
Which, in my opinion, WandaVision was great up until the end. At least I didn't care. I really didn't like the end, but it was good, and he really was able to capture those different time periods that WandaVision takes place in, like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, 80s, right? So, I mean, I want to hear your guys' thoughts because I'm half and half on this. What do you guys think about this whole thing?
You want to go ahead, Anthony?
Yeah, I'll take it. The idea of Fantastic Four coming into the MCU, well, I'll start there, dude, was exciting news, bro. I mean, Fantastic Four is beloved by many comic fans and people like that. The casting, yeah. When I first originally heard the casting, I heard different people who was probably going to be casting originally. The cast that we ended up getting, I feel like it's solid. The Pedro Pascal, I feel like Pedro Pascal was probably just kind of picked, because he's been so much involved with a lot of Disney projects, and he just had a bunch of stuff that just went on. I think in the last year, he did obviously Mandalorian in season 3 of it.
Right.
What was the show? The Last of Us, based on the game.
Yep. Good show.
So that right there, he's a good actor. I'm not gonna sit here and be like he's terrible, but it's just I feel like a lot of it there were just kind of like, okay, see how they go. The Galactus one, I'm really excited for. I like the actor. I've seen a few of his stuff that he's done. I mean, it's about a B minus as far as grade as far as the casting. I feel like they're all gonna be good. I just like to see how hope it works out together and see how they kind of get in. I know it's not an origin. They've been very adamant about saying it's not an origin. It's basically just taking off right where the movie starts. The test screening the stuff that we were watching that was interesting. I think for a second I thought maybe it was part of the movie, but I know it's not. It's just kind of like a testing or whatever. I mean, see how it goes. I just really hope they do a good job with this movie.
Yeah, all of that footage.
That's my thoughts.
All of that footage in the video is actually like I already said, it's from a sizzle reel of just like concept footage and basically getting the idea for the aesthetic of the movie. They actually started filming this past Tuesday, last week. I think they announced that on stage as well. Like after Comic-Con, they were flying back to London, I think, to film on Tuesday. So they've already been filming for like a week. So we'll probably get like set photos and stuff maybe by this month or so.
I feel like within a month or so we'll definitely get some set photos.
Right.
Because they did just start this week, so we'll see how that goes. See how much they try to hold in or hide.
Yeah. Barrett, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I agree with Anthony. The casting, it could be hit or miss. I like where Anthony said kind of like average B minus.
Mm-hmm.
I think they kind of just picked a bunch of Disney kind of like celebrities, if that makes sense. Eddie Munson is the only one that I really like just because he's really been on a roll since Stranger Things. And he's really funny and he's really good at acting. I just want to see more of him, I guess, if that makes sense. So I like that. The whole Silver Surfer thing, being a woman is a little weird to me. But
Barry, sorry to cut you off. Did you like? Was that first time you're hearing like about this being like this right here, or did you kind of hear about it already?
No, this was the first time. This is when Philip was telling me. This is my first time. So I've been kind of off the radar for a little bit.
When this first came up, Phil, do you even kind of remember? I want to say it was a few months ago, right? Or even was it early this year? I want to say. Time goes so fast. I want to say at least it was sometime this year. We're in August, so sometime this year the news had dropped. Dude, internet went crazy. Obviously, I understand that there is a female Silver Surfer in the comics. It's basically his wife. Yeah, but I guess people immediately were like, "Oh, they're pushing they're pushing the woke agenda, they're pushing this and this." And I'm like, when I found out, I was like, "Oh, there actually is a woman like Silver Surfer." I was like, "Okay."
That changes things. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Charlotte.
it let off the blow. It did soften the blow, not blow, but it did just kind of make a little understanding of what they're trying to do here. But you can also still see what they're trying to do.
Right.
So there's information going around that the order that, because Shala Bal is, I don't know if, I don't know too much about the character. I don't know if she's the wife. You could be right, but Shala Bal is a different character that why am I blanking on his name? The main Silver Surfer.
Dude, yeah.
Norrin Rad.
There it is. Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like a female Norrin Rad. It's a different character from the comics. But the thing going around, the information going around, is that the order for Silver Surfer to be a female came above Kevin Feige. So whoever is above Kevin Feige ordered, hey, when you do a Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer has to be a female.
Wait, but what's the point if Kevin Feige's not even in charge?
Again, it's a lot of this is kind of to fill that kind of like, oh, we have to have more females and stuff like that. I mean, it might work out. I don't know. I'm more of a purist. Like, if we're gonna do Fantastic Four, let's do Fantastic Four. Let's do Jack Kirby, Stan Lee stuff. The best Fantastic
material.
Yeah, the best Fantastic Four is not a Fantastic Four film. It's The Incredibles. You know?
Literally.
Yeah. Yes.
Brad Bird. I wish Brad Bird was making this movie, because he would have done it so perfectly. But yeah, that's literally how you do it. The movie, because the Fantastic Four they're not like a superhero comic book. They're like a soap opera of celebrities, basically. And
Which is why WandaVision makes so much sense, I feel like.
Yeah.
Too, as well as the director. I forget his name, sorry.
Oh, Matt Shackman.
Yeah, he did good at the time period for WandaVision, so I'm excited for that.
So, again, I'm about 50-50 on this. Hopefully it's good.
Sure.
I'm not 100% sold on everything. I'm excited for Galactus. I'm excited for some of the casting. Michael Giacchino is actually going to do the score, who did the score for Incredibles. He's done a bunch of Pixar films. And I think he did the Batman, too, score.
Oh, wow.
The score for that. So he's done a bunch of great stuff. If you look at his discography, he's done a lot of great stuff. So, again, I'm about 50-50 on this. I can only hope for the best. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we can.
But going on to the last few announcements, Kevin Feige surprised everybody, saying he has one more batch of announcements. And so he announced that they're working on Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, of course. During that time, he brought out the Russo brothers, who he announced are going to direct both Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. Now, the titles of Avengers 5 and 6 are the following. Avengers 5 is going to be titled Doomsday. And Avengers 6, which we've already known for a while that it's going to be called Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And for both films, I believe Stephen McFeely is returning to write for the films. He wrote, I believe, Infinity War. I don't know if he worked on Endgame. I could have it backwards. But he was one of the writers who's worked on most of the Captain America films and a few Avengers films as well. So it's like the old team, you know, the classic Yankees team coming back to write for the Avengers, basically. And then on top of that, towards the end, they brought out, of course, because Avengers 5, that's coming out in 2026, is called Doomsday. They brought out a bunch of extras who were dressed as Doom bots. And one particular Doom bot was in a little bit of a lighter shade of green and a cloak. He walks to the front of the stage and removes his mask, and it's Robert Downey Jr., who is playing Dr. Doom.
Broke the internet.
Which broke the internet.
Absolutely.
So it's the old team coming back to the Avengers films. Apparently, there's rumors going around that... Well, I don't know if I want to say it. It's pertaining... Okay, I won't say it. But yeah, he's going to be... 'cause I don't want to spoil something. But, yeah, he's going to be Dr. Doom. Now, we don't know if he is officially Dr. Doom. Like, he's born and raised Victor Von Doom. Or if he's Tony Stark being controlled by Dr. Doom. We don't know what it is. We just know he's from a different universe. He's from a different Earth. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about this? This is some big stuff.
Yeah, this is heavy. I'll go at this first.
Go ahead.
So I got to, yeah, a lot of mixed emotions during this reveal. Yeah, we all knew Secret Wars was actually coming and what it's going to be. Actually, and I don't know if this might be news. I heard it's now. I don't know. It could be too. I heard it was something else being like a part 1 and part 2, but that's not sort of thing here. But as far as this one here for Doomsday, and then bringing back RDJ to be Doctor Doom, mixed emotions. I mean, I honestly think of like, it was kind of one of those like, oh, that's cool, but at the same time it's like, why? Kind of for me personally, I'm just like, why? Like to me he's always going to be Tony Stark, an Iron Man. He's always going to be that. So to me, when I thought it, I'm like, I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's cool to bring the Russo brothers back. Yeah, your analogy of like bringing the old school Yankees back together. I think kind of what it is. It's just like, yeah, they had to bring. Is Marvel in such a
bad state that they have
Marvel
to...
Where's Marvel at right now? That they have to bring back. They have to bring they have to bring out of retirement for one more final dance or one more final season to try to go and win the chip again or something like that. But
this is like,
as far as the fact that
this is like when modern wrestling is. I mean, modern wrestling is kind of bad. It's really bad right now, right? They're constantly losing numbers and stuff. So when they have a WrestleMania coming up and they need to boost up numbers, or they have just a Raw in general, when they need to boost up numbers, who do they call up to bring up? They call like The Rock, they call John Cena, they call Stone Cold, right? So it's these characters that you've known for a long time and are beloved. This is very much what it is, because we already talked about it. Where Phase 4 has been crap. Let's be honest. It's
terrible.
There's been no direction. There's been more preaching than fun. It's been bad. So what do you do when Disney as a whole is doing bad? Not only just Marvel. You have Star Wars that's doing bad. You have Disney brand that's doing bad. What do? You bring back the guy who literally started it all and was your anchor being, right, of the MCU. It's Tony Stark, RDJ. As for myself, listen, I'll let Barrett go first, and then I'll talk about like what my thoughts are, because I have a whole theory behind it.
Because what I was thinking, I was like, unless they're gonna do like, because I've been since this whole news happened, I've been watching like YouTubers and they do like break like stuff with it now. So they're like, is this a different variant that ultimately becomes controlled by Doctor Doom? Like, is this a Tony Stark that at some point during the 616 original timeline branched off or something and became this or something like that? I'm like, so is it that, or is he officially versus? Because it's like people even like not even like us, but people younger, bro, know this dude as being. Kids are now probably thinking like, oh look, dude, Iron Man's back, and it's like, no, not really. But it's just like as adults, you're like, no, that ain't him. There's only one Iron Man. No, there's only one Tony Stark. Yeah, so it's just kind of like, it's like, yeah, to me, that's why my statement was, where is it at right now that they feel like they had to bring everything back to try to, it's like, are they losing faith? Are they not? Are they visibly, purposely, like publicly showing that they kind of lost faith, and they're hearing a lot of what people are saying, and they're like, okay, but yeah, unless it's a different variant maybe, or however they want to twist this. Yeah, mixed emotions. I was like, dude, that's cool, but at the same time, I'm like, why? Like I don't see the vision. I'll be completely honest. I don't see what they're seeing, and yeah, it don't take too much to not see what they're seeing. But it's just like they don't know what they're doing at. But yeah. So that's for myself. I'm just like, yeah, it's mixed emotions. I'm not thrilled. Like I said, I'm not super excited about it. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's my finishing of my take on it.
Totally agree, Anthony. Especially with the whole. That is Tony Stark, like you said. That is Tony Stark. And the fact that it's kind of like the whole Wolverine thing that I got into a little bit on the last podcast. Just, man, these actors are getting old. They're getting into their 60s. Yeah. Let them just relax. They're not superheroes anymore. They've been in, 5-10 films, like for Hugh Jackman, for instance. Like, let them just do something else.
Yeah, because even Robert Downey Jr. is going to be like, I think he's going to be in his 60s or 50s. Like,
And Hugh Jackman's almost 60.
By the time, yeah. See, so it's just like
come on, guys. That's all I had to say, though, Philip.
We're gonna get like old man Iron Man soon. It's gonna be
crusty Iron Man.
it's like
Logan. We got a glimpse of old man Logan for a second, but it's just weird, bro. Like I said, I haven't been like I've seen people and I'm just like, what are your thoughts? I'm just like, I don't know, bro. I seriously I have no answer. It doesn't make sense, and that's just me being more logical and understanding of just being like, dude, this is one character. Like unless I said, unless it's a variant that they write in, it's like, okay, well, it's Tony Stark, and so we'll find out in like next year or soon enough when people start breaking down and making more theories. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, for me, the only way this works for me, and I heard a lot of people were against this idea. So there's two options that this could be. And maybe there's a third I haven't heard or thought about. But one option is this is Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom. The shock factor is that it's just Tony Stark's face, but he's actually just Victor Von Doom, right? So that's kind of like, right? That's one idea.
Mm-hmm.
The second idea, which I think could work if it's done really well, is there's an old comic book, and I put a link in it in the notes for you guys to look at. But there's an old comic book of What If from 2010 that's Iron Man. And I got this idea from Script Doctor, who's on YouTube. It's a great theory. But there's a comic book called What If Iron Man Demon in an Armor from 2010. And basically the story is Doctor Doom swaps minds with Tony Stark. And so he pretends to be Tony Stark as time goes on and stuff, and there's a whole conflict and whatever. But the theory I've heard is, what if Doctor Doom steals the body of Tony Stark from Endgame? Because you never see the body,
I guess,
in the movie. So what if he takes the body of Tony Stark and uses that to his advantage, whatever that might be? Maybe it's for world domination or whatever.
We're reaching right now, Philip, by the way. Sorry.
No, it's 100% a reach, but to me, that's the only way it works, because I would not be into the idea of just Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom. It seems like such a lazy idea. So if he's playing... Because the idea is Doomsday happens first, and then we get into Secret Wars. And this is what I was kind of leading into. But Secret Wars... The idea there in the comics was it reset the whole Marvel universe. So it brought in Miles Morales to the main 616 universe. And it did a whole few things. It was like a soft reboot. So the idea is you bring in Robert Downey Jr. to play Iron Man and Victor Von Doom in Secret Wars. And you do this whole... After the movie, you do this whole soft reboot where you recast everybody. You recast Captain America. You recast the Hulk. You do all of that because you... Again, we've already talked about it. Marvel is such in a bad state, and they don't really have a direction. And instead of working on their characters and stuff, they most likely want to reboot. So, and that's how you bring in the X-Men. That's how you bring in Fantastic Four into the MCU as well. So we could be looking at a soft reboot after Secret Wars.
I believe that's the direction we're getting.
Yeah, because again, another YouTuber I watch, he's been told a lot of stuff. He has a lot of people in Marvel. And he knew about Robert Downey Jr. for almost a year before it was announced. He just didn't say nothing. It's Robert Meyer Burnett, if you guys want to check him out on YouTube.
Okay.
But he said Marvel has a plan. And Robert Meyer Burnett is pretty critical. He's more softball on some things, but I agree with him more often than I don't. But he let the audience, he let YouTube know, like, yeah, Marvel has a plan, and it's supposedly pretty good. So from my thoughts and what I'm hearing, that's kind of the idea. They're going to do a soft reboot, and they're going to introduce proper X-Men, proper Fantastic Four, proper Avengers, and it'd be cool if they did like a period piece. Like, what if they did the Avengers in the 60s, and they did the X-Men in the 70s? And then
too many 2000s movies.
Yeah. So, like, what if everything was a time period piece and you kind of did really adapt the comics for what they are? So that would be pretty cool. But if they, like I said, if they just do Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom, it's a bad idea. It's because you're gonna bring back everybody. You're gonna bring back Chris Evans as Captain America. You're gonna bring back like Tom Holland for Secret War. You can do everybody for Secret Wars. As much people as you can. We'll probably even get the scene with Deadpool and Thor, that where he's dying and Thor's kind of crying over him. That'll probably happen in Secret Wars.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I've been hearing people talk about it. That might be what it is. And yeah, like I said, if they're gonna, it's just I think that's what I was saying. That's what my original thought was when I seen that, where I was like, they're basically just putting, Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. to become. That exactly what you said. I think that's what my mindset was that right there immediately. And I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. But I mean, like I said, if they have a plan, they have a vision. I don't see it, but I mean, a lot of us kind of don't. But I mean, it's something. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Prove me wrong.
Like I said, it comes out a year. Like it comes out sometime next year. Usually around this time, summertime next year. So by
Doomsday,
or not next year, 2 years, 2000, so 2 years from now, we'll be like, get this recording and be like, hey, remember, none of us kind of, or even for sure, Anthony said he didn't kind of see. Okay, now you kind of see it a little bit.
Right.
But, we won't know until we get there.
Yeah, and they're all like 2 or 3 years away, so they're right around the corners. Doomsday is happening in 2026. Secret Wars is happening in 2027. They're both Avengers films. My question is, who are the Avengers right now?
Who even knows?
I always get little questions on video, and I think we've even had conversations just outside of before we did all this. We had questions like, who are they? Like, because right now because what did they tease in because they teased after Quantumania. They teased the new Avengers. So I guess they said they've slowly been trying to do that with like their shows.
The wasn't it the Young Avengers?
The Young Avengers.
The Young Avengers.
Right.
Yeah, no, the Young Avengers with America Chavez, Hawkeye, and then Ant-Man, Cassie, and then there's another one they were talking about. And then the two Wanda's 2 kids apparently eventually are going to become like physical beings again. Apparently that's what the Agatha is supposed to bring one of the kids in somehow, some way, or whatever.
I forgot Agatha was coming out.
That comes out in next month.
Yeah.
I think same time next month. I think it starts because they said it's around the Halloween time. But I think it's end of September. It's supposed to start all that stuff in there. So I might watch it. I might check it out, see what it's about. But I mean, I don't know. So that's another one. But yeah, I think they're supposedly talking about that they're supposed to bring in that. But yeah, as far as the main Avengers, we don't have there are nobody right now. There really is nobody. Spoilers. I don't know. You guys probably saw the show. It was like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is back on Earth, but he has a son. He's with his son. And then who else is that? Hawkeye retired. Falcon is now Captain America, whatever. And then who else is that? That's it. There's no. I'm trying to think. Wanda's gone. Well, supposedly
she's coming back. She's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back. Yeah, she's coming back. Everybody thinks she's gone, but Doctor Strange is dealing with some other stuff, I guess. And his own movie ended with him going through trying to fix some incursions or whatever. Yeah, so there really are no Avengers.
There are so many like loose ends in Phase 4 that have not been explained. Like you were just ratting off like on the different movies we've had and stuff. Like in Doctor Strange, they introduce Cleo at the end of the film, and Doctor Strange has like a third eye. Like we haven't heard anything about that. There's a whole thing with.
We're gonna hear about that like 2 years from now.
There's so much stuff like
that's what I was talking about. That's my little thing I was saying. Is like, dude, how long at the I'm not trying to be like, we're gonna find some post credit scene from this movie or Captain America's next movie and find out 2-3 years from now. It's like, oh no, you're talking. It's like, dude, that's how you're losing fans. Like that's how you're gonna sprinkle your little thing into a TV show, and not a lot of people watch the TV shows. So
yeah, there's that. There's the Celestial that's in the ocean. There's all the Eternals. There's the Young Avengers. There's the Black Knight, who was a post credit of, was it Shang-Chi? I didn't see Shang-Chi.
And then
but yeah,
Shang-Chi was if anything that was probably one of the good. That's a good movie, bro. Dude, definitely check it out, dude. It's one of the best. It's one of the best things that came out of. I know that's a low bar or something like that, but out of that phase. It's actually a genuinely good movie. I did enjoy it. I watched it a couple times. I watched it when it came out. It dropped on Disney Plus, and I think I watched it a couple times after. But that's actually still a pretty good movie. That's probably one of their best projects as far as this last phase. I dropped that there. Like all those teas of that. Eternals did the Blade reference, which was that right there, and then with Muhammad Ali, Mashal Ali, whatever, saying he's like the post-credit voice, supposed to be playing Blade, but it's like is Blade even happening?
It's not.
You know, for me and you thought. Okay, remember we watched Moon Knight, bro. I'm excited. I want them to do something with Moon Knight. I hope he comes back. Is it going to be a Midnight Suns, or is it going to be something that? Is it going to be something like that? But I do. Like, I mean, we watched Moon Knight, bro, and I enjoyed it. I remember we both got a chance to just kind of sit there and like watch those every time they dropped. And I want to see Moon Knight back in whatever project they bring him in.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that needs to be addressed, and they frankly don't have a lot of time. So I think that's why the idea of them soft rebooting kind of makes sense. Because, again, are you really going to sit there and explain so much stuff that's happened in the next 6 movies? I mean, you can, but it's such a mess that, like, the original first 3 phases were so coherent in terms of, like, there were one idea, and it was based around the Infinity Stones, and then you led up to Thanos, right? You built up the Avengers, and you built up the side characters like Guardians and Wanda and all of that stuff, and then it led up to Endgame, and that was your full story. Whereas like Phase 4 and beyond have been like, oh, we're just gonna throw in all this modern stuff, and we don't really have a plan. We'll just throw them all in Avengers films and call it a day, and it's like it's not working. So
what's crazy is we haven't gotten any Avengers movie since Endgame.
Because you don't have.
Live comes out in 2026.
Yeah.
Dude, like I said, that was the last that they had, and there was just nothing. Yeah, because like I said, dude, we did a post-credit scene, and it was literally like a scene from the next movie, and that movie was coming out within. Dude, at one point, dude, I remember Marvel was coming out with a movie like once or twice a year. Then it became a point where, dude, like Marvel was bringing out movies every. From what 2012 to 2019, bro, they were dropping like, or even close to the duration of that. I want to say like 2015 to 2018, bro, 19. Those 4 years, they were dropping movies like crazy, but it all was cohesive. It was all connected. And it had a purpose and a thing. After Endgame, it was just like, yeah. They were just writing out their name for the Phase 4, brother. They basically just writing out, like, oh, stamp Marvel's name on it. People are going to go see it. And it worked for a minute until, you're dealing with adults and people that have more of a brain understanding of, like, this stuff ain't working, bro. And now then they're losing fans. It's like, well, yeah, because we can see that you're doing stuff, but it's not making any sense.
Yeah, for me right now, Marvel's dead. For me. And it ended with Endgame, and the epilogues are No Way Home and Guardians 3. After that, I don't really care about Marvel at all anymore. The new idea of a plan and them trying to fix stuff is intriguing me. I'm more so of like, prove me wrong. That's where I'm at right now. But we'll see. We'll see. There's so much stuff they can do to fix it. We haven't seen their X-Men. Their Fantastic Four is about to come out. So there's potential. There's potential, and there's a chance for them to fix things. But I'm more skeptical than positive, if that makes sense. But yeah, that was everything for Marvel in terms of their Comic-Con stuff. I don't know if you guys had any final thoughts about everything. Barrett, I know you didn't talk that much. If you want to kind of talk about more stuff.
No, I'm just confused when I think of MCU right now, and that's not a place I want to be in, honestly, when talking about Marvel. And I'm more excited for some DC projects than Marvel, which is kind of weird to say, honestly.
Yeah,
but
weird, but it is
weird, right? But they're doing stuff that is in the right direction, that makes sense, and it doesn't hurt your head to think about, like, oh, let's go see the new Penguin series or the new Batman 2. Like, we know what it's about. We know typically, like, what their direction is. There's no, like, open potholes everywhere.
It's because Marvel is kind of losing its way, and DC is, after all the hate they've gotten over the years for some valid reasons, and movies that weren't all that great and directions they did, but are now coming into their own. Now they're stepping into their. Philip, do you remember what James Gunn called this? Not Phase 1, but he called it like he called it something. It's not Phase 1. But
I think it's chapter 1, Gods
chapter
and Monsters.
1, there it is, yeah. It is, yeah. So now they're slowly entering into the, and then you literally had one of the top Marvel movie directors and stuff like that. Now he's coming in. So now, like I said, now DC's got a direction. That's why I was kind of excited for James Gunn being in DC. I was like, dude, good for DC, because now they're going to come up, and they have some good stuff coming up, bro. Superman looks amazing. You said it's already finished production, so we should be getting that within sometime this end of next year, right? Beginning of next year?
Yeah, I will say, when the MCU was happening, James Gunn, of course, directed Guardians of the Galaxy. But one thing I don't know if a lot of people know about is he helped plan a lot of the cosmic stuff after Guardians. Like, he was a big integral part of the MCU, going past into Phase 3 and some parts of Phase 2 as well. Like, he was a big part of that plan. And if you notice, like, when he left, a lot of things started, like, not working out. Like, there isn't really a plan. Downhill. And then he goes to DC and he already has a whole plan for the whole thing, right? So I think Kevin Feige is a good producer. He's produced a lot of great stuff, but they need somebody there who can make a plan. I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's the Russo brothers. I don't know if it's RDJ. I thought about, what if it's Ryan Reynolds coming in as
Dude, at this Deadpool, point, who knows?
Right? So they've lost basically their quarterback, and he went to DC. So I mean, we'll see. I'm more excited for DC than I am Marvel at this point. I'm hopeful. I really hope the two can be great, because two things good at once is good for everybody. It's good competition, it's good for the fans, and you overall make more money that way. But yeah, we'll see. But with that being said, I think that's everything we were going to discuss today. We went on for a while, which there was a lot of stuff we had to talk about, but I think it was a good conversation, and it was fun. So, with that being said, we wish everyone well. Take care, Godspeed, and have a good one wherever you may be.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Hey, take it easy, guys.